Hello everybody, welcome back again. This is your girl Zoya. You are highly welcome, and today you are specially welcome to my kitchen. If today is the first time of tuning in, I am so glad you came, and to my returning subscribers, I am so excited you came back to watch. Thank you. I am so grateful. So guys, today I want to share with you tip, or let me say a tip which I use in storing my palm fruit nut, also known as palm kernel, or you can call it banga, whichever you choose to call it. This is how I prep and store it, and it actually lasts longer. You can store it forever if you're not going to be using it, and whenever you just decide to use your palm fruit concentrate, you can just go back in there and take it, and it will be as fresh as it was from the beginning. Why don't you come and let me share with you how I prep and store my palm fruit nuts. Actually, the thing is, where I live here in Nigeria, I live in Oshogbo, Osun State. Palm fruit nut or palm kernel, let me say banga, it's not actually a thing you can get easily in the market, guys. Over here, you cannot just get it easily. We have to book it. Else you are lucky. If you were to be lucky, you just find it in the market and just buy it and use it. But if you are not that lucky, you will not get it here. So banga, it's actually a thing you don't get like that over here in the market. You cannot just wake up and say, oh, I want to cook banga soup today. Oh, I feel like eating banga rice, banga this, banga that. You will not get it in the market. You have to go there, meet those women that are selling it, and book ahead. They have to tell you, oh, come back next week, you're going to get it next week. Oh, come back tomorrow, it's coming down tomorrow. So that is how it is over here. So when you have the opportunity to be given a banga like my own, a friend of mine, more like a friend, or let me say more like a sister, but she's actually a friend and she's more like a sister to me. She gifted me with this banga, and I am so glad, I am so grateful, because if I would want to buy this much quantity over here, despite being Nigerian in this place, they don't actually know the significance of it. They don't, or let me say, they don't actually know the use. They saw it in the market, but I live among the Yoruba people. Most of them don't know how it's being used, or let me say, most of them don't know how to use it. So that is why it's not that common here. So when I see or get it, or probably someone traveled down to those states and brought it, I will so much be happy and like it so much, because my family love banga. Anything with banga, we all love it. My children love, my husband love it. I personally, I love banga soup. So that is the reason why I prep it down, and it's actually the same thing. Prepping down and storing it, coming back to use it later, or you just prep it and use it at the same time. It's actually the same thing, the same flavor, the same, the same concentrate. Everything is still just the same thing. So this is how I prep my end. It has been working out, so I decided to share it with you guys. Thank you so much. Let's dive into the prepping. So this is the palm kernel, also known as palm fruit nut. This palm fruit nut was actually given to me for like a week ago, and I wasn't around, so I couldn't prepare it. But today that I have the time, I said I'm going to process it today, and I decided to also share it with you guys. So here is the palm kernel. I'm just going to be picking it from the kernel. The fruit, the palm fruit nut is still in the kernel, so I'm just going to pick it. So after picking it up, it was very much, and this actually means a lot to me. So I'm just going to wash it. After washing, I now pour everything inside a sieve, and I'm just going to let it drain out any excess water that might be there before pouring everything inside the pot. And I also added enough water to cover the pot, and I'm going to put that on the fire to cook. This is going to be cooking for at least the first 30 minutes. So while I place that on the stove to be cooking, I'll go ahead and wash my mortar and the pestle, which we are going to use in pounding this palm kernel fruit or palm fruit nut. So guys, let me tell you the history behind this mortar and pestle. Please don't disrespect my pestle, please. This pestle actually means a lot to me, and let me shock you guys. This pestle, it's quite older than I am. This pestle, it should be up to 40 years, or it should be up to 40 years or more than 40 years thereabouts. That is how this pestle has been alive, or let me say, that is how this pestle has been. It should be over 40 years. This mortar, my mother gave me this mortar as a present on my wedding day, which is already 10 years ago. It is ago now, which is already 10 years ago. She gifted me this mortar as my wedding gift, and the mortar actually came with a pestle. It is mortar and pestle, but the pestle got damaged along the line. I don't know what happened. Those insects that do eat plank or wood, they ate the wood and everything just got destroyed. We couldn't use it again. We just have to trash it away. So I didn't have a pestle, and I was hoping to just buy one someday. So on this day, I went to my parents' house, and my mother have a mortar and pestle, but she does not pound. She does not even use it. So I was in the kitchen and I saw this pestle. That was how I took it. I took the pestle, and that was how it belonged to me. So I would say this pestle is inherited. Was it inherited? No, it wasn't. I took it. And I wouldn't call that stealing. I didn't steal it. I took the pestle. I later told my mom about it, that I've taken this pestle since you are not using it. So please don't disrespect my pestle. It is quite older than I am. That is the history behind the pestle. So after washing the mortar and the pestle, I later went ahead. It's been about 30 minutes. I went ahead to check on the palm kernel that was on the fire, and I checked it. When you can pinch it with your finger, then you know it is cooked or it is already done. So I pinched it, as you can see, and it peel off easily. That was how I know that the palm fruit nut is okay, it is cooked. So all I'm just going to do now is take it off the heat, and I'm going to start with the pounding processing. So right now I'm just going to be scooping the palm kernel inside the mortar, and we'll be using this my sieve to just take it from the hot water in the pot. It's still in the pot, so I'm just going to be taking it like this in batches into the mortar. And since this is a big mortar, I'm going to be adding everything in all at once, and I'm going to start the pounding process. So I'm going to pound this until I see that everything has come out of the nut. All the shell has come out of the nut. That is how you know that you have extracted all the juice or the concentrate from the palm kernel. As you can see, this is how it should look when you are done with it, when you have already extracted everything finely. This is how it should look like. So once it's like this, you know it is ready to be extracted. Yeah, so after I have beautifully pounded everything, after mashing everything together like this, as you can see it now, I'm just going to scoop out some of this and just put it inside a Ziploc bag, and I'm just going to zip it up, and I'm going to keep that in the freezer. This is also going to be in the freezer, and anytime I want to use it, I'll just bring it out and continue with the process. I just want it to be like this, and I will also share with you the recipe which I am going to make out of this banga. So I'm just going to add in more water. This I'm just adding in ordinary water, not cold water, not hot water, because the palm kernel is still hot. And I'm just going to add in ordinary water, combine everything together, and this time I will be using my hands. Yeah, that is it. You actually have to use your hands to get the actual concentrate you are aiming for. So I'll use my hand to turn it over, mix everything together, and you have to be very careful when you are using a mortar to do this, because you don't want to accidentally, put your hand inside the mortar. It is so painful and you are going to get injured. So I'm just going to carefully use my hands to squeeze everything together, mold everything, like this. You just have to be doing it, and once you've already done it very well, like I'm doing, that is how you know you have extracted enough juice from the palm fruit. And I'm just going to be taking out the shaft like I'm doing now. We are still going to use that. We are not trashing it all the way. So I'm just going to be putting the trash inside a bowl while I'm going to keep that aside. So after squeezing the first round, I call this the first round. So after squeezing the first round like this out of the mortar, I'm just going to keep the shaft and in another bowl, and I'm going to set that aside because I'm still going to add another water and use it all over again. So after taking out all the shaft from the mortar, all that we have left in the mortar now is the juice which we have already extracted from the palm fruit nuts. I'm going to come in with my sieve and another bowl, and I'm going to be scooping it into it like this. I want the aim here is just to sieve it for the first round, and I'm going to set that aside as well. So once all that is done now, I'm going to come back. This is the second batch. So this shaft which I have kept earlier, I will be pouring everything back into the mortar. This time I will be adding hot water. After adding the hot water, I'm also going to add another ordinary water just to combine everything together and make sure it is not too hot for me to handle. So I'm going to come in with my hand again, and this time we are squeezing out the final juice from the palm fruit. So I'm going to be combining everything together, squeezing it and folding it like this just to make sure I extracted enough juice out of it, and we are going to now trash the shaft. So meanwhile, while I was doing this, I was praying in my mind that God in heaven should make my life like that of a palm tree, because a palm tree has blessings all over its body. Starting from the tree, you can extract palm wine from it. Even when it's cut down, as long as the tree is dying on the ground, there is this insect that do come out of it. My husband said it's very delicious, that he has hated before, but I have not ate that kind of insect. I don't know if it's called insect or worm or maggot, I don't know, but it do come out of the tree, and my husband said it is so delicious. You can extract broom from the leaves of the palm fruit. You can extract broom from it. This palm kernel which we are doing is known as banga. Banga can be turned into palm oil. That's another thing. And this shaft which we are going to be trashing, some people don't trash it. You can actually use every bit of it. The kernel, you can use it to make firewood. The shaft, which is like this, can be molded after drying. You can use it to enhance the firewood which you are making. And the nut itself, when you break it, there is a thing that is inside, which can be used, which can be eaten. You can eat it. You can actually roast it on the fire and it will turn to oil. That is what they use to make this palm kernel oil. This adiagbon, it is called adiagbon in Yoruba language. It is called, we call it ude in my language. It is made from this nut that is inside the palm kernel. Yeah, that is what is called palm kernel nut. You can eat it. We use it to drink garri when we were little. It is so delicious when you use it to drink garri. So a palm fruit tree actually has a lot of blessings that God has ordained with it. And I actually wanted this blessing for my life, every area of my life, every area of my endeavor. I want God to make it look like that of a palm fruit tree. Amen. So after extracting all the juice, I'm also going to do the same thing for the second batch. I'm going to put in the sieve and I'm going to start scooping everything out of the mortar into the sieve like this, just to extract some of the shaft from it in the first batch. So after doing all that, the second thing now to do is to take a fine sieve. You can actually use something like this, or you can use a nut milk bag, or you can use a chiffon cloth, just anything fine, just to extract any excess shaft that might be inside this banga. This is how the banga looks like. So right now I'm going to bring everything back into the sink, and I will start by pouring it gradually like this into this fine sieve, just to sieve out any excess shaft or any excess dirt that might be inside the banga. So after sieving everything, our banga is ready, and it was very much. I needed to add everything together, both the first one and the second one. I just matched everything together and it was so much. This pot, it is a big pot. This big pot actually full with the banga. I am so happy. I am so blessed. So I'm just going in with my wooden spoon, nothing much, just to combine everything together before I will start to pour it inside a keg. Remember, we are going to be keeping this. It can actually last forever. It can last how many years? You can just put it there and it will just be in there, and it's still going to be the same thing. It will still have the same concentrate, the same taste, the same flavor. Everything is just going to be in there like that. So I'm just going to be pouring it into this keg. This is a keg which I've already used for palm oil before, and I have washed it. So I'm just going to be pouring everything into it gently like this. So once the keg was already full and the banga was actually still remaining in the pot, I had to just find one container and just pour everything inside, and I'm going to keep this in the freezer till anytime I want to use it. So this is how to prep and store your palm fruit concentrate or palm fruit nut or a banga concentrate. This is how to prep it and store it, and it's actually going to last longer. So if you have watched this video up to this moment, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps me a lot, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Thank you all so much for watching. See you again in my next one. Bye.